What's up, YouTube? Bay Area Baller 18 back again. Today, we're going to be analyzing the AFC rosters and depth charts. But before we get to that, I want to talk about the injuries to Tarvarius Moore and Justin Skule real quick because I haven't addressed them on my channel. And Justin Skule, I didn't think he was particularly good last year. But nonetheless, I hate to see injuries. And that's what I want to say first because, these guys work hard, to make football their careers. But Justin Skule just didn't impress me last year. As for Tarvarius Moore, a lot of other Niners fans are higher on him than I am. So while I hate the injuries to depth, I don't think these injuries are going to affect the win-loss column. And the reason we're diving into AFC rosters is we got a bit of a slow period in NFL news, right? Training camp is going to start in a few weeks. So I figured rather than continuing to talk about these injuries that have been beat to death, right, on speculation about what we should do with the trainers, I figured we dive into some of these rosters because I started last night. I was like, let me check out some of these rosters. So the Bills were the first team. It was like AFC East was at the top. And Emmanuel Sanders is on the Bills. And I'm like, you know what? The audience might want a refresher on who went where and just how the depth charts are stacking out. So let's get this thing going. All right, here we go. So we're starting out with the Buffalo Bills. All right. Wide receivers, Gabriel Davis, Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley's a sneaky slot. And Stephon Diggs, man, he was a monster last season. All right. After that, Isaiah Hodges, Duke Williams, okay. And Emmanuel Sanders. It's like that's where I knew he had left the Saints. But he's on the Bills, linking up with Josh Allen. This team's going to be pretty good. O-line, Dawkins, Joe Feliciano, Morse, Cody Ford, Darrell Williams. I think that's a solid O-line right there. Dawson Knox is the tight end, okay. Josh Allen. What up, East Bay Chris? And we're live, fellas. Thanks for stopping by. What up, Josh? All right, running backs, Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. And Breida. That's where Breida ended up. That's a nice little trio. All right, let's move to the defense. Jerry Hughes, man. Jerry Hughes has been balling for a long time. Vernon Butler, Ed Oliver, Mario Addison, AJ Epinesa. I remember I liked him at Iowa. Okay, and Gregory Rousseau, the pass rusher out of Miami. I wasn't that impressed with Rousseau. But they might be able to get the best out of him. All right, the secondary, Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde. I've always liked Micah Hyde. What up, CG? Thanks for coming by. Name the top 5 AFC teams at the end. Well, I'm going to give you the division winners, so it'll be very similar, Waruna. So stay tuned. I know, right? Yeah, Breida ended up on the Bills, and that's why we're doing this, because these moves start flying in the offseason, right? There's so many moves, it's easy to forget, like, who went where. So that's why we're doing this. It's a refresher. Today we're hitting the AFC, and Sunday I'm working on a special guest that I'm going to try to get for Sunday. So stay tuned. Sunday, we're going to be doing the NFC. I think that'll be even more exciting. This secondary is good. Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, Levi Wallace. You know who? Ayuk torched Levi Wallace. In my Ayuk breakdown I did, top 25 plays of Brandon Ayuk, he was destroying Levi Wallace all game. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, EP, we can't stay on the Bills too long, but okay. That's where the Bills are at. Next up, Miami Dolphins. We're going AFC East. Oh, the Dolphins. Devontae Parker. They upgraded their weapons, fellas, and they needed to do that because their wide receivers were bad last year. It was like Devontae Parker and, Preston Williams does not impress me. But they addressed it. So you got Parker, Will Fuller, the speedster. He'll be good till he pulls his hammy, but he's a deep threat. And Jalen Waddle, what do you guys think about Waddle in the chat? Because, man, if Waddle hadn't got injured, like that title game really kind of put me off to him because he tried to play through that injury. It was tough to watch. He was so hobbled, and I don't think he's back to practicing yet. Correct me if I'm wrong. So if he was healthy beginning of the year, I might have took Waddle over Chase and Devontae Smith. That's how electric I thought Waddle was. His change of direction is just crazy. But after the injury, those three guys were all so good that after the injury, he slipped to 3. For me, at least. So they addressed the receivers. Lynn Bowden, he's like a gadget guy. Preston Williams, no. Okay, the O-line, Austin Jackson, Michael Dieter, Skura, Kindley, Hunt. This O-line, I'm going to say this O-line sucks because I don't even recognize most of these guys. Austin Jackson, he's a young guy. I think he's at a USC. So he might be solid at left tackle. But Mike Gesicki, he had some flash games last year. I remember I was streaming him in fantasy. It's like, you need a tight end? Shit, go get Gesicki, I guess. Tua, now a lot of people, let me know how you feel about Tua, because a lot of people are hating on Tua. He didn't look that good last year. Fitzpatrick looked better. But I'm not writing out Tua. I think he's accurate. He's got good touch. He doesn't have a cannon. But I like Tua. I think he is, Josh. I think he is. I know CG's ahead of the ball game. We're going to get there, CG. B Money. What's popping? Thanks for coming by. Waddle, best wide receiver to come out of Alabama the past 2 years. I like that, B Money. That's a hot take. That's scorching. But I'm not going to argue against it. I loved Waddle. It's just that injury. It was a bad ankle injury, and I don't know. He'll probably come back 100%, and he's going to ball out. But I would take Chase and Smith over him just for the uncertainty. The comments are flying in. I appreciate that, chat. Okay, all right. Let's wrap it up on the Dolphins. Okay, we touched on Gesicki. To Myles Gaskin, he was solid last year. While he was healthy, they had some really bad running backs last year playing. Walter, who's Walter? Malcolm Brown came over from the Rams. That's a name I recognize. But overall, the running back room is kind of lackluster here. Okay. D-line, Wilkins, Raekwon. There's some big dudes. Ogba. Okay, Van Ginkel. That's a great name at linebacker. Bernard McKinney, Jalen Phillips. Yeah, well, I'm not really impressed with the linebackers here. The D-line, the defense. This is where they make their money, though, in the secondary. Byron Jones, phenomenal player. Eric Rowe, Javon Holland, Jalen Phillips. They got him as a linebacker. This is the pass rusher out of Miami. Yes. Right? Yeah, that dude, I like that dude. What up, area? Which game on the schedule and your expertise do you think prepares the Niners for the Titans game? You know what, Niner Drag? I'm locked in on this depth chart. I'm locked in on this depth chart right now. But if I can pull up the Niners schedule and figure out who the teams are playing, maybe I can get back to that one. But thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. Yeah, the Niners had a Walter, but I could swear the Dolphins also had a Walter. I think it's two different Walters, though, B Money. So this is a great secondary. Xavier Howard. He's also a really good corner. So they got phenomenal corners. All right, let's keep it moving. That's the Dolphins. I got to speed it up a little bit. I don't need to spend 5 minutes on the Miami Dolphins. All right, New England. What you got, Bill? I got to elevate my laptop. I think it's heating up. There we go. There we go. Now we're cooking. It's a better angle, too. Let's see what Belichick's working with. KB, the first guy, man. KB. We're going to miss that guy because it's like whenever anybody got hurt, whether it was Debo, Ayuk, Kendrick Bourne was just so reliable. You know he was going to be there. He was going to be in the right spot. I wish him all the best. Nelson Aguilar. This guy was balling. This guy won me my fantasy league, Nelson Aguilar. Picked him up, and he was good. He was consistently good the last 4 or 5 games of the season for the Raiders. Good pickup. I really liked how he was looking, too. Like a deep threat, intermediate game. You got KB, more of a short threat. Nelson's got the more intermediate, deep game. And then Jacoby Myers, that's a sneaky good wide receiver trio. Like, it's all right. It's good. It's solid. Michael Onwenu, that was a hell of a pick. Isaiah Wynn, David Andrews, Shaquille Mason, Trent Brown. This is a really good offensive line. That's a really good offensive line. Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, they brought in the tight ends. This offense is looking solid, better than I was expecting. And you got Cam and you got Mac. The running backs, they always do running back by committee. Damian Harris, James White still there. Sonny Michel, he sucks. Sonny Michel was picked ahead of Nicholas Chubb, if I'm not mistaken. And I had Chubb way ahead of Michel that year coming out of Georgia. Both of them were at Georgia. And when I watched them run, it's like, oh, Nick Chubb's a beast. But Bill took Michel. Bad pick, Bill. Let's move to the defense. Oh, they went and got Matt Judon from Baltimore. Lawrence Guy. Byron Cowart. Devon. Gocho. Henry Anderson. Okay, see the backups. No one's jumping out at me there. Kyle Van Noy. What's the chat saying? Yeah, the Dolphins did look decent. It's just like the O-line looks kind of sketch, though. How well do you think the Pats tight end will do this year? Will it be Gronk Hernandez 2.0? I don't think it'll be quite that B-money because they don't have Tom Brady throwing them the football. But I like Jonnu Smith. They both bring two different elements, right? Jonnu Smith, that guy's got some speed. And Hunter Henry, so Jonnu, in that scenario, B-money, Jonnu Smith is Hernandez and Hunter Henry is Gronk. Well, I don't think either one of these two tight ends are as good as Gronk or Hernandez in that aspect. It's like it's just a step down. Like they're good though. Hunter Henry's had some injuries though, so these guys got to stay healthy. All right, they're getting Dante Hightower back. He opted out last season. Chase Winovich, Raekwon McMillan. I believe that. Yeah, he's a young guy. McCourty's still there. Adrian Phillips. Kyle Duggar. Bill Belichick also took this guy, Kyle Duggar, out of his tiny school. I remember I did some draft research before the draft. I was checking out the safeties, and Kyle Duggar was like a guy who I was hearing could go third or fourth round. So I was like, let me check him out. And I wasn't very impressed, although the highlights were, the sample size was small, right? I was like scrounging YouTube just for whatever I could find on him, but I wasn't that impressed. Bill took him in the second round. You might not be able to quote me on that, but he took him early. Stephon Gilmore, Jonathan Jones. Left cornerback is J.C. Jackson. They got some pretty good corners. They got a good secondary. Yeah. Okay. We don't analyze the kickers. All right, last team in the AFC East is the New York Jets. Corey Davis, Denzel Mims, Jamison Crowder. They also got Elijah Moore in the receiver room. Keelan Cole. Now I see why people are talking about Jamison Crowder potentially being on the move. They have they're deep at wide receiver. Offensive line, Mekhi Becton. I like Mekhi Becton. Elijah Vera-Tucker, Connor McGovern, Greg Van Routen, George Fant. So they're trying to build the O-line. I think they still got a couple weak spots. George Fant, I'm not too, if he's your starting right tackle, you might be in some trouble. Luckily, Zach Wilson will be able to see that, right? It's not the blind side because Zach can get out of the pocket. So we should, that should help out a little bit. Zach Wilson, and look at their quarterbacks behind him. This guy's playing day one. And I'll tell you what, hopefully no one in my fantasy league is watching this because I'm taking Zach Wilson in my 2 QB league. Like late. I'm not reaching for him, but late. The running backs. Oh, my God. They got Michael Carter. Okay. I like Michael Carter. Well, Michael Perrine, Tevin Coleman, Michael Carter, and Ty Johnson. Okay. Oh, and that's where Austin Walter. Hey, B-Money. There's your boy, Austin Walter. I could have sworn there was another Walter that played for the Dolphins last year. Defense, Carl Lawson, Quinnen Williams, Sheldon Rankins, Kyle Phillips, Cashman Mosley, CJ Mosley. Man, that guy's getting paid. The Cal product, the Berkeley boy, Ashton Davis. That's the projected starter. Okay, he's going to be battling with LaMarcus Joyner. Okay. All right, so let's take it back to the AFC East summary. The Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills are my pick to win the division. Let me know in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this later who you think's going to win the AFC East. I'm going Buffalo Bills. All right, AFC North. How are we on time? Okay, we're doing all right. Sammy Watkins, Marquise Brown, Miles Boykin, Rashad Bateman. I like Rashad Bateman. And they got Tylan Wallace. I mean, they're deep at receiver. And it's like Lamar doesn't even really throw it that well. Lamar is a running back and a quarterback in the same body. But as a quarterback, it's like a meh quarterback. But his legs are just so exceptional. I mean, he's a running back when he takes off. Ronnie Stanley, Bozeman, Macari, Zeitler, Alejandro Villanueva. Okay, that's where Villanueva ended up. Because they lost the big boy from Oklahoma. What's his name? His dad, Orlando Brown. Mark Andrews is the tight end, right? Man, I had him on fantasy last year. He was not good. Lamar Jackson, okay. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Justice Hill. So it's gonna be Dobbins and Gus Edwards. If I'm expecting that's gonna be the tandem in Baltimore. Derek Wolfe, I always like Derek Wolfe. Brandon Williams, Calais Campbell. We're on the defense now, fellas. Pernell McPhee. Interesting. Those are some big boys on the D line. Patrick Queen, Malik Harris, Tyus Bowser. Okay, Jason Owe. He's a rookie. Marcus Peters, Chuck Clark, Deshaun Elliott, Marlon Humphrey. Cornerbacks are Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey. That's a pretty good secondary. That's pretty good. Yeah, that is. Chuck Clark. Okay. All right. Waruna thinks the Patriots if Cam stays healthy. All right, Waruna. Let me catch up on the chat. Van Noy's been a solid player in this league for a long time. East Bay Chris wants the Jets to do well. Absolutely. We want Solid to do good, and I've always really liked Zach Wilson. You know what? My dad is a Jets fan, so that would be cool. All right. Let's keep this moving. Cincinnati Bengals. All right, they got Jamar Chase early in the draft. Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins. Now that's a pretty good trio. They got Joe Burrow some weapons. Jonah Williams. All right, he was a first round pick out of Alabama. Michael Jordan, Trey Hopkins, Quentin Spain, Riley Reef. They got some holes in their O-line. Hopefully they can protect Burrow because he's so good. I want to watch Burrow this year. My boy Billy Price. I'm a Price, so I'm always pulling for my guy Billy Price. They got him as the backup center. Billy Price, you got to beat out Hopkins, man. Beat him out. So they got Joey B at QB. Oh, let's not skip tight end. Drew Sample and CJ Uzama. Joe Mixon, Samaje Perine. Okay. I won't be drafting Joe Mixon in fantasy. Joe Mixon always goes ahead of wherever I'm comfortable taking him. Let's go to the defense. Sam Hubbard, DJ Reader, Larry, Trey Hendrickson. Oh, they got my boy Trey Hendrickson. He had a monster year for the Saints last year. I really like Trey Hendrickson. He's got good moves. He's a good player. Joseph Osai. Linebackers, Akeem Davis-Gaither, Jermaine Pratt, Logan Wilson. Cornerbacks are Darius Phillips, Chidobe Awuzie. That guy's really fast. I only know that in Madden. He's got like 96 speed. Trey Waynes. That guy's also really fast. So their defensive, or maybe the GM must play Madden and like speed because he's picking the cornerbacks who all are at that top of that speed chart. All right. That's about it. That's all we need to spend on the Bengals. Not too impressed. I mean, they got some holes on the O line. The defense is underwhelming. I do like the Trey Hendrickson pick though, but protect Joe Burrow. The Cleveland Browns. Man, you know what? I feel like I always hate on Cleveland teams just because the Warriors, we had those battles with the Cavaliers. And for some reason, I don't know why I roll it over from basketball to football, but it's like you figure those Cleveland fans that I hated that were Cavaliers fans, they're also Browns fans. So I feel like I don't want to like the Browns, but I kind of like the Browns. I like Baker. I like Nick Chubb. I like Odell Beckham. They just got players that I like. Jedrick Wills, who's their left tackle. He was my favorite left tackle coming out of the draft last year. The first one that was taken was Andrew Thomas by the Giants, but Jedrick Wills was my personal favorite. Okay. Wide receivers. Jarvis Landry's still there. His LSU brethren. Odell Beckham's with him. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Rashard Higgins, Anthony Schwartz. I believe that's the burner. That guy might have been the fastest wide receiver in the draft. He's a blazer. The O-line, they got a really good O-line. It's a really good O-line. As I mentioned, Jedrick Wills, Joe Bitonio, J.C. Treader, Wyatt Teller, Jack Conklin. That's a really good O-line. Austin Hooper, Harrison Bryant, and David Njoku. All right, this is my pick. This is my pick to win the division. I don't even need to see the Steelers. This team is looking really good. Stefanski kind of, he's coming from that Kubiak offense, which is also, there's parallels between Kubiak and Shanahan, right? They're intertwined. So the offenses have some similarities. The defense, Myles Garrett, Jordan Elliott, Andrew Billings, Jadeveon Clowney. They got Malik Jackson for depth. Tack McKinley, okay. Sion Taki, Anthony Walker. So the linebackers, and East Bay Chris, they got your boy Malcolm Smith, BT Dubs. Secondary, they got Greg Newsome from Northwestern. I like that pick. And Denzel Ward. I need Denzel Ward to stay healthy. Greedy Williams, I think he's got some potential. Grant Delpit coming off an injury. And that's where John Johnson, oh my God. Dude, the Browns are looking loaded, man. The Browns are looking loaded. I'm not even going to front. Okay, let me catch up on the chat because I'm going kind of back and forth. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want Wilson to get hurt. He needs to stay protected. That right side and the middle of that O-line is shaky. Ooh, Chris is hearing early reports that Zach Wilson has looked like a stud. I love to hear it. Because I like him. I think he's an electric player. I had him as my second favorite quarterback. I really wanted him on the Niners, but I didn't think it was going to happen. But I'm happy with Lance. I can't wait to see Lance on the field. This offense is going to be a lot of fun to watch. It is. Yeah, that Browns O-line is no freaking joke. My bad. There we go. We back? Okay, we back. Okay. All right. Pittsburgh Steelers to round out the AFC North. All right, they re-signed Juju. Chase Claypool looks like a monster. And then Deontay Johnson, besides having some of the dropsies, he can run some sick routes. So they got a pretty good trio over there. That's the thing. The Steelers always just take receivers like in the second round, and they usually end up working out. Second, third round. You know what I'm saying? The O-line, Okorafor, Kevin Dotson, Hassenauer, David DeCastro, Zach Banner. Not the names you're used to on the O-line. You feel like the Steelers always have a really good O-line. And I'm not getting that vibe. Not that I know how every single offensive lineman in the NFL, how good they are. But the names aren't jumping out as me as very talented. Zach Ebron, Pat Fryermuth. And if you disagree with anything, let me know in the chat. Because I know I have a smart audience. So I appreciate and want your guys' input. So the tight ends are Ebron and Fryermuth. Big Ben. Big Ben came back again, baby. And then Najee. I feel like every mock had Najee going to the Steelers, and everybody got it right. Behind Najee Harris, Benny Snell, Anthony Najee Harris, take him in fantasy. He's going to get a lot of work. I can tell you right now. All right, DT Cameron Hayward. I love Cameron Hayward. He's a good player. Tyson Alualu, Stephon Tuitt. Those are some big boys because they're running that 3-4. That's why they got those big boys up front. TJ Watt, Devin Bush, Vince Williams, Alex Highsmith. Cornerbacks Joe Hayden, Justin Lane. Minka Fitzpatrick's a good player. Terrell Edmonds, good player. Okay. I'm having fun. I hope you guys are enjoying this. DeCastro is a beast. David DeCastro is a beast. Yes. All right, so the AFC North, I'm going with the Browns. The Browns look like they got a loaded roster. All right, let's keep it moving. The Houston Texans. Is Deshaun Watson playing this year? I don't know. Wide receivers, Brandon Cooks, Andre Roberts, Randall Cobb. Andre Roberts is like a return specialist. Randall Cobb? Oh my God, these receivers are. I mean, I hate calling receivers in the NFL garbage, but I'm not impressed with this receiving core. Laramie Tunsil, that Laramie Tunsil trade just set them back severely. He's a good player, but they gave up a ton for him. Max Sharpling, Justin Britt, Marcus Cannon, Titus Howard. Okay, tight ends, Jordan Akins and Pharaoh Brown. Deshaun Watson, Tyrod Taylor, Jeff Driscoll, Davis Mills are the quarterbacks. Running backs, David Johnson, Philip Lindsay. I do like Philip Lindsay. Mark Ingram, Rex Burkhead. I mean, so they're deep at the running backs, but that offense is underwhelming. I mean, and if Deshaun Watson's out, this team is going to be god awful. Defense, Charles Omenihu, Ross Blacklock. I do like Ross Blacklock out of TCU. Malik Collins, Whitney Merciless. Zach Cunningham. Kamo Gruger Hill. Shaq Lawson. Okay. All right. Quarterbacks, Vernon Hargraves, Lonnie Johnson. Excuse me, Lonnie Johnson's a safety. Vernon Hargraves and Bradley Roby are the corners with Desmond King. Okay, that's where Desmond King ended up. I like Desmond King. All right, that's all we need to spend on the Texans. I mean, they're not going to be very good even with Deshaun Watson, but without them, they're going to be really bad. Indianapolis Colts. We know they got a new QB this year. Okay, receivers T.Y. Hilton, Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman was flashing at the end of last year. Paris Campbell. Okay. I'm not a big Paris Campbell guy. I don't know why. Offensive line, Eric Fisher, who I think he's coming off an injury. He's not going to be ready for the start of the year. Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly, Mark Glowinski, Braden Smith. This is a good O-line. It's just the question is at left tackle. Fisher's coming off a major injury. I forget what it is, but it's a big one. He's not going to be ready because it happened late in the year. But overall, that's a good O-line. Carson Wentz, that offensive line for the Eagles last year was so bad. I mean, first of all, there were some throws where like the running back on a swing pass is wide open and Wentz would like skip it into the ground. It was not a good look. It was almost looking like he had the yips, which is a term that I've seen used more with baseball players when they just can't find their release point. And I mean, Wentz, that's an exaggeration for how bad Wentz was last year, but hopefully he can get some of that back with a better O-line around him. Running backs, Jonathan Taylor, Naeem Hines, Marlon Mack, Jordan Wilkins. They always kind of use that committee, but Taylor's probably going to be the feature guy. On defense, Tyquan Lewis. Big Buck, man. I miss you, Buck. Grover Stewart, Kwity Paye, the rookie out of Michigan. Linebackers, Bobby Okereke, Zaire Franklin, Darius Leonard's a hell of a player. Cornerbacks, Rock Ya-Sin and Xavier Rhodes. Safeties are Julian Blackman, George Udom. Okay, that's a team that's going to be contending. They're going to be contenders. What's going down in the chat? What's popping off? Would never write Pittsburgh off. They are a team with the second most regular season wins in the last 20 years. I absolutely would not. They have a great organization. They do things the right way over there. So that's a great point, Waruna. You should do this, but with the Madden ratings. What do you think? If I could get like the updated rosters, the new game hasn't released yet, though, Josh. So I don't know how I'd make that work. That's a great idea, though. How long does it take until the kid from Stanford starts at QB for the Texans with Watson not playing? Well, okay, Jeff Driscoll's there. He's trash, okay? So it's going to be Tyrod Taylor. So Davis Mills would have to beat out Tyrod Taylor. That's probably means by like week 4, because when Tyrod goes 0-3, you might want to see Mills. Maybe week 6. I'm going to say like week 4, week 6, right around there. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Urban Fraudmeyer. How many times this guy quit on his teams? Right? He can't coach due to health, right? Or something. I don't want to misquote it, but just from what I remember, just off the top of my dome, he can't coach because of his health. But now he's good. Okay, now he's good. I wish all the best for you, Urban. Wide receivers, DJ Chark, Marvin Jones, Laviska Shenault. I like Laviska. That guy's tough. DJ Chark, deep threat. And with Trevor Lawrence at the helm, okay, I like the weapons lightweight. Marvin Jones, the vet in the room, the vet of the wide receiver room. Cam Johnson, Andrew Norwell, the guy they got from, I think they overpaid him big time from Carolina, but he's a good player. Brandon Linder, AJ Cann, Jawan Taylor. Tight end Chris Manderts and Luke Farrell. The tight ends aren't really impressing me. Trevor Lawrence. The running backs, yes, James Robinson and Travis Etienne. And I heard something they're using Etienne at receiver. Sounds pretty smart to me. You want to get that guy the ball in space in a variety of ways. And that's where Carlitos ended up. Carlitos Hyde. And CJ Beathard. Bye, CJ. Defense, Josh Allen, Devon Hamilton, Taven Bryant, Jihad Ward. Linebackers, Miles Jack is a good player. Joe Schobert, Leon Jacobs. Cornerbacks are Trey Herndon and CJ Henderson. I like CJ Henderson. All right. Tyson Campbell. Okay, that's where Tyson Campbell ended up. The rookie from Georgia. Okay, all right. There you have it, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, it's a slow time of the year, fellas. I mean, what are we going to do? Talk about injuries for an hour? The injuries have been beat to death. I hope you're enjoying this. I mean, I'm learning a lot of stuff. Who's where? I'm pretty sure you guys are learning stuff too. I thank you for rocking with me. This chat is still live. Waruna, thanks for stopping by. I got some legends of 49ers Twitter here with me. You know, Cone Phone, All Stars, just phenomenal individuals in my chat. Tennessee Titans. Oh boy, this team's looking good. Man, because they got Julio. AJ Brown, Josh Reynolds. That's where Josh Reynolds went for the Rams. Okay. I mean, you can just run 2 wide receiver sets with them. They're tight ends, though. They're tight ends. Anthony Firkser. Okay. I mean, they need Julio and AJ Brown to stay healthy because after that, it's kind of, man, I mean, Josh Reynolds is like, he's all right. He's a big bodied guy. After AJ Brown and Julio, I'm not impressed with the weapons, but they're a run first team. So maybe I should cool on that opinion because Derrick Henry's a monster. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. O-line, Taylor Lewan, good player. Saffold, good player. Ben Jones, Nate Davis, Kendall Lamb. Ryan Tannehill. Man, Tannehill's getting it done. That play action, heavy run game has really helped his career, and he's a good QB. Defense: D'Amico Autry, Woodrow Hamilton, Jeffrey Simmons, Harold Landry. Linebackers: Rashawn Evans, Jayon Brown, Bud Dupree. That's where Bud Dupree ended up. Okay. Caleb Farley, really good football player. Caleb Farley, before he had the back surgery, I mean, I was having a tough time distinguishing who's the number 1 corner in this draft class between Surtain, Farley, and J.C. Horn. And then when the back injury happened, it was easily, okay, he's not in that category anymore. But honestly, I might have had him at 1. Check out his highlights at Virginia Tech. This guy is big, fast, and his ball skills are outrageous. He's just going up and catching these footballs. I mean, it was amazing. He had really impressive highlights, I'll tell you that, Caleb Farley. Janoris Jenkins is on the other side. Elijah Molden is a rookie safety. Okay. Kevin Byard, good player. Okay. All right. So this division's tough. The Titans and the Colts. I'm going Titans, though. Let me know in the chat who you got. I'm going Titans for the AFC South. All right. Last division on the schedule today. Last thing we got on tap. And then Sunday, I'm hoping to do the NFC with a special guest. You'll have to tune in to see who that's going to be. Start out with the Denver Broncos. Man, Vic Fangio, I really like Vic Fangio. But I don't know about the offensive coordinator, Pat Shurmur. That offense looked really bad last year. It might have just been Drew Lock. I think Drew Lock is bad. I don't think he's good. I would rather play Teddy Bridgewater because he's not an idiot. But let's start with the receivers. EP, don't get ahead of yourself. Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. Tim Patrick was balling last year. KJ Hamler's got some speed. I like their receivers. Offensive line, Garrett Bowles, Dalton Risner, Cushenberry, Glasgow, Bobby Massey. I think that's a solid O-line right there. Tight ends, Noah Fant. If Noah Fant can stay on the field, when he's on the field, he's pretty good. He's a good receiving threat as for the tight end. Drew Lock and Teddy B at quarterback. Running backs, Javonte Williams is a beast, rookie out of North Carolina. Melvin Gordon, Royce Freeman, bust. Yeah. Let's move to the defense. Oh, fellas. I got to touch on my boy, Mike Purcell. Hold on. Yes, I got it, fellas. Let me put it on. Mike Purcell. I got Mike Purcell's glove. That's why I love you, Mike Purcell. I'm pulling for you. Keep dominating. And that guy's tough on the inside, too. Yes, I am biased because he gave me this glove after my only road game I've ever been to. It was in Chicago. It was an overtime win. Robbie Gould was playing for the Bears at the time and missed the game-winning kick. So the game went to, and it was a chip shot. It was like a 35-yarder. Robbie Gould missed it. Overtime. Who was the quarterback? Man, I was blitzed. Blaine Gabbert to Torrey Smith in overtime for the win. And I'm at Soldier Field, bundled up, just yelling my head off. Amazing time. After the game, of course I'm staying 20 minutes after the game's over. I'm hanging out at Soldier Field. Mike Purcell comes out, says what's up to the fans, throws his glove up. I Odell Beckham one hand the glove. Got it right here. Thank you, Mike Purcell. It's my Mike Purcell story. My only road game. It was a lot of fun. I got to check the chat after that. Hey, Josh, you're the man. B Money, I appreciate it. Oh, man, I got Amin the Dream in the chat. Amin, you're a legend. Yeah. I know what you mean, Waruna. The Titans are looking good. The only team that I think can push them is the Colts. Okay, let me get past my boy Mike Purcell. Dramont Jones, Bradley Chubb, Alexander Johnson. Yeah, this D-line. Where's my boy Von Miller? Okay, just be patient. Keep scrolling down. There's my boy Von Miller. So Von Miller and Bradley Chubb are phenomenal. The rest of the defensive line, because they're in that 3-4 scheme too. So it's like linebackers, outside linebackers are on the D-line practically. Kind of lackluster, right? Like besides Von Miller and Bradley Chubb, two really good players, which you stick one of each guy on the end of the line. That's going to help your defense big time. Patrick Surtain, baller. Kareem Jackson's been playing really good since he's transitioned from corner to safety. Justin Simmons, they got a really good secondary. Justin Simmons, Kyle Fuller, Ronald Darby. It's a really good secondary. Okay. Where we at? Where we at? Okay, next up, the KC Chiefs. Boo. I'm streaming and loading up all these different links. Computer's getting a little warm. It's getting a little warm. Denver's loaded with weapons. Yeah, they had some nice weapons. All the way to like wide receiver 4, KJ Hamler. Yeah, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. I love Jerry Jeudy. Runs sick routes. That dude runs some sick routes. I know. Yeah, they need Drew Lock. Drew Lock is not competent. Drew Lock, I don't think he's good. I think Teddy B. Vic Fangio wants to win. He doesn't want to develop. He wants to win. So I think they're going to be going with Teddy B because I think he's going to give him a better chance to win. And then they'll be drafting again soon. John Elway, man, he hasn't picked besides Peyton Manning, right? Who is it? Paxton Lynch and Drew Lock. I think John Elway better stop picking quarterbacks. All right, let's. KC Chiefs, Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson, Byron Pringle. Okay. I mean, Tyreek Hill is so special. I love Tyreek Hill. He's got a different level of speed. It's just, and his change of direction and acceleration, like it's just at a different, he moves at a different level. Offensive line, Orlando Brown, Joe Thuney, Austin Blythe, Kyle Long, Mike Remmers. Oh my God. And that Super Bowl, I mean, Mahomes just had dudes in his face all game. So they really tried to solidify this offensive line. You can tell. Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes. That guy is good. That guy's really freaking good. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Darrell Williams at running back. Let's move to the defense. Taco Charlton. Chris Jones is a monster. Frank Clark. Frank Clark's a good football player. Not seeing much on the depth on the line. Linebackers, Anthony Hitchens, Willie Gay Jr., Charvarius Ward is a corner. He's their left cornerback, right cornerback, Algerius Sneed. That's a thing. Did Mahomes big money kick in this year? Because this roster doesn't look as deep on the defense as it used to be. Tyrann Matthew still holding it down. That's a good player. Daniel Sorensen. I mean, they got Patrick freaking Mahomes. Let's see what's going down with the chat. I could see it be money. I could see Denver being a surprise team. Now, do you see that? Do you envision that with Drew Lock or with Teddy Bridgewater? Last two teams we're checking out. The Raiders. Henry Ruggs, man, I wanted Henry Ruggs on the Niners. That's what I wanted. We took Kinlaw, and Kinlaw is very powerful. Hopefully he keeps on getting better. But man, I wanted Ruggs. I think Shanahan wanted Ruggs too, just with that element of the speed. So Ruggs, Brian Edwards, Zay Jones, Hunter Renfrow. I'm telling you, take Ruggs in fantasy. Take Ruggs. He's about to ball out. O-line, Colton Miller, Richie Incognito, Andre James, Denzel Good, Alex Leatherwood. I like Alex Leatherwood. People thought that John Gruden reached for Leatherwood in the first. I was higher on Leatherwood than a lot of people. And then Darren Waller is a monster. I mean, they lined him straight up. They'll put him at wide receiver on the outside and have him run a go route, and he will torch the corner. Did it numerous times last year. Baller. Derek Carr. Derek Carr played good last year. I like Derek Carr. Running backs, Josh Jacobs, Kenyon Drake. Richard is still there. Let's move to the defense. Cleveland Farrell, a.k.a. Velcro. Let me just stick to the O-lineman like Velcro. That was a bad pick. Mad Max. I like Mad Max Crosby. And Yannick Ngakoue. Okay, so they tried to bolster the D-line with Yannick Ngakoue. John Hankins is there. Quentin Jefferson. Solomon Thomas. Wish you luck. Linebackers, Nicholas Morrow, Nick Kwiatkowski, Corey Littleton's a solid player. Cornerbacks, Trayvon Mullen, Damon Arnett. Yeah, I want to say the Raiders can make the playoffs, but if I had to bet, I'd say no. If I had to bet, I'd say no. Trevon Moehrig, that's where he went. I mean, I like Trevon Moehrig out of TCU. Jonathan Abram, Carl Joseph is still there. Okay. Let's move to the last team. The Chargers. I hate the Raiders. Is it my 49er gene? Does it mean I'm a true 49er fan? Yes, Waruna, that does. I went to a game at Candlestick. One of the first games I went to was a preseason game. The Niners used to always play the Raiders in the preseason. And there were so many fights at that game. That was like the opening to my football experience, like at a game. And there were just fights. Like, it was kind of scary. As like I must have been probably like 10 or 12. But yeah, so yeah, that means you're a true Niner fan, Waruna. Niner Drag says Chargers are flying under the radar. My sleeper. All right, Charger. All right, Niner Drag. Let's dive into that roster. All right, wide receivers: Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Josh Palmer out of Tennessee. I did like Josh Palmer. He's a polished, like a deep threat, intermediate threat guy. Not a big yak guy, but he's got some good routes. So Herbert's going to be able to sling it to him down the field. Tyron Johnson. Okay, O-line, Rashawn Slater. I like Rashawn Slater. Oh, they pulled Corey Linsley out of Green Bay. That's where he ended up. Along with Oday Abushi, Matt Thaler, and Brian Bulaga. Bulaga's been playing like forever. Okay. I think that O-line's decent. I got a solid O-line. Tight ends, Jared Cook. That's where Jared Cook is, out of New Orleans. So they lost Hunter Henry, brought in Jared Cook. Justin Herbert, man, that guy's got some tools. He's got a hose. And they got a new coaching staff. Brandon Staley from the Rams. Joe Lombardi. I don't know much about the OC. That might be something I might want to look up just in my spare time because, like I said, it's a slow period for news in the NFL. Running backs: Austin Eckler, Justin Jackson, Josh Kelly, Larry Roundtree. I like Eckler. Justin Jackson, yeah, you know what? He was decent. Okay. Defense: Joey Bosa, Linval Joseph, Justin Jones, Jerry Tillery. Okay. I like Tillery. I like Bosa. So they got those bookends. Linebackers, Uchenna, Nwosu, Drew Tranquil, Kaiser White, Kenneth Murray. Kenneth Murray's a good player. Right corner is Tavon Campbell. Left corner is Michael Davis. Nasir Adderley. I like Nasir Adderley and Derwin James. Man, we need Derwin James to stay healthy. Just as a fan of football, you want Derwin James healthy. That's why I hate injuries. It's like they happen. You can't stop it, but I want to see all these teams at full strength. But hey, this is pushing an hour, so I want to wrap it up. I want to thank everyone who came by live and who's watching this now. Make sure you like and subscribe. And thanks for coming out. I had a lot of fun. Stay tuned. Sunday, we got a special guest. So you guys have a good night, and I'll catch you next time.